All right, Isaiah, welcome. This is lesson 5, identifying supports to achieve your goals. Are you ready to learn about some tools that can help you to achieve your behavior goal? Let's begin. But first, remember that we should be listening, have our listening ears on, our thinking brain turned on, being ready to say or point when we're asked to say or point to a response. All right, yeah, I think you're ready. Let's begin. Welcome back to your goal setting lessons. Remember that goal setting lessons have 3 parts. Isaiah, get ready. Say them with me. Part 1 is set a goal. Part 2 is make a plan. And part 3 is adjust the plan. So what question do you ask yourself when you are setting a goal? Is it A, what is my goal? Or B, what is my plan? Isaiah, make your selection now. Did you say A, what is my goal? If you did, great job. So your goal and your question, what is my goal, is matching the question that's being asked. What question do you ask yourself when you're setting a goal? What is my goal? So what question do you ask yourself to set a goal? You see this on your probe. Is it A, what is my dream? B, what is my goal? Or C, what is my problem? Isaiah, make your selection now. Pointing to B. It's the correct answer. What is my goal? Because it has something to do with what's being asked in the question as well. So now it's time to work on part 2, make a plan. You finished working on set a goal. Now you're working on make a plan. What question do you ask yourself when you are making a plan? Isaiah, get ready. Read it with me. What is my plan? Read it by yourself this time. What is my plan? So what question do you ask yourself when you are making a plan? Is it A, what is my plan? Or B, what is my task? Isaiah, make your selection now. Pointing to A, what is my plan? That's the correct answer. What is my plan is what you're asking yourself when you are making a plan. When you look at this on your probe, be careful for the wording in the question. What question do you ask yourself to make a plan? Is it A, what is my plan? B, what is my goal? Or C, what is my action? Isaiah, think about your answers and make your selection now. We're pointing to A, what is my plan? Because this is the question we ask ourselves when we are making a plan. Be careful to think about your questions. So a goal is something that we want to achieve or a target to meet. You have set your behavior goal already. Isaiah, get ready. Read it with me. I should begin working immediately and continue working until the task is complete. So today you're going to make a plan so that you can achieve your behavior goal and improve your behavior. One way that we improve our behavior is by setting goals. So what can you do to improve your behavior? Would it be A, eliminate distractions, B, be a responsible student, or C, begin working immediately and continue working until the task is complete? Isaiah, think about your answers and make your selection now. Your goal is about beginning working immediately and continue working until the task is complete. And we see that little guy to help us remember who's at his desk and he's working hard until his task is complete. So you've identified a barrier that may get in the way of your goal yesterday. You said the barrier was... I don't want to do work. I always need a lot of help. And that's okay. We all come across barriers. We're going to see this symbol quite often throughout our lessons and also on our probe. So I want you to be sure that you're thinking about what a barrier might be that's going to get in the way of your behavior goal of begin working immediately and continue working until the task is complete. Here on your probe, you see the question, what is a barrier that may get in the way of reaching your behavior goal? Is it A, I don't want to do work, I always need a lot of help? B, I like the way it feels when I'm biting my nails or singing out loud during class? Or C, I get out of my seat and talk to peers and act silly to get attention or avoid doing classwork? Isaiah, think about your answers. Think about what we just discussed. Make your selection now. Pointing to A, I don't want to do work. I always need a lot of help. This is a barrier that may get in the way of you actually sitting down and doing your work and working hard until the task is complete. You also identified some ways to remove the barriers. Here's an example of what you said. You said to remove the barrier, begin working right away, and if I get stuck, I can ask for help. When I'm done, I tell the teacher so that I know what to do next. This is a really good idea and strategy for removing the barrier. You also see, sorry about that. You also see that you have symbols here. The time to start, beginning right immediately, as soon as possible, really get going on your work, sitting down and working hard until the task is done. And also, we're going to talk about this later, but using a cue card reminder is a tool that will help you to do that. And that's what this symbol means. So by making a timeline, you can plan for when you want to start working on a goal and when you will achieve your goal. It's really important that when you think about setting a timeline, that you do it immediately. Start working right away on your goal, just like we want you to start working right away on your classwork. All right, so today is January 30th, it's Thursday, and I'd like for you to try to work on this goal for 5 school days. So if we count out 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, by the 6th, when we re-meet again, then we will know if you've met your goal or not by then. So let me talk to you a little bit now about the timeline that we have starting on the 30th or today, ending on February 6th. That's 5 whole school days to work on your goal. And think it's very possible that you meet your goal by then. Okay, so when will you begin? As soon as possible? Next month? Or next year? Isaiah, think about your answer and make your selection now. Are you pointing to A, as soon as possible? We really want to start working on this goal right now, today, and also we'll meet that goal in 5 days. So the tool that we can use to help us when we are setting a goal and working on our goal is, first of all, a cue card reminder. A cue card is a symbol of something that has a special meaning for us when it's placed somewhere that we can see it frequently. So maybe a picture of anything. Yours might even look like this. I should begin working immediately and continue working until the task is complete. And what does that exactly mean? I get started on my work right away. I keep working quietly until the task is complete. If I get stuck, I can ask for help. When I'm finished with my work, I tell my teacher to see what I should do next. These 4 things are what it looks like to begin working immediately and continue working until the task is complete. So it's important, first of all, that you're starting right away, that you continue working. If you get stuck, ask for help. Don't just sit. And also, when you're finished, don't just sit. See what's next. See if you can take a break. See if you can do the next task. It's really important that we are busy working while we're at school, because as a student, that's our responsibility. Another type of tool, this one does not really have much to do with what you need to be working on, but it's called a behavior self-monitoring checklist. So it's kind of to support the items that you check off if you meet them. This one has something to do with like paying attention to the task. You can either say yes or no. And a lot of times you'll have a reward for making a certain percentage correct. Once again, this tool does not really have much to do with what you're working on. Tool number 1 is a perfect tool to use to meet your goal. So which tool would you like to use? Which is most appropriate and perfect for what you're working on? Isaiah, think about your answer and make your selection now. Could you point to 1? Tool number 1 is going to be perfect for you to meet your goal. Now, let's say you're working on your goal, and at several different points throughout a lesson, in a 10-minute lesson, you're going to have a phone by you, and the phone is going to vibrate. And when the phone vibrates, you'll be able to say yes or no. Are you doing these? Are you doing these activities here to begin working immediately and continue working until the task is complete? We're going to do a practice round later so that you can see what that looks like. And we're going to start using this every day until our goal is met. And we meet again on the 6th to see about that, okay? Here's an example. What you can do to remove the barriers. Remember, did we talk about using a sensory tool? Did we talk about using a cue card? And we talk about using a checklist. Isaiah, which one did you choose? Which one are we going to be working on? Think about your answers and make your selection now. Pointing to B, you're using the cue card reminder. And here's another example of what that might look like when you're using your cue card reminder. Let's say that you have been sitting in a lesson for 10 minutes, and every 20 seconds you hear the phone buzz. You're going to say either you're beginning to work immediately or you're not. You're working completely and you're working quietly and you're working until the task is complete, or you're not. So if you're getting stuck, you've asked for help, or you're not. So it's either yes or no. When you're finished, have you asked your teacher what you're going to be doing next? Have you asked for a break? Has your teacher told you what it is you're going to be working on next? Our goal is to get 30 checks in the yes column. 30 checks in the yes column in 2 out of 3 days in a row that we're working on this activity, Isaiah. So when you hear the vibration and you give yourself a check mark for being on task, we're going to practice that, and hopefully you'll be able to get 30 out of 40. Once you do that 2 out of 3 days in a row, you'll be meeting your goal. This is another way that we're going to track our progress. So remember I said I want you to get 30 points, right? 30 points in 2 out of 3 days in a row. That is going to be your goal that you're going to meet. And if you do that, it means that you've met your goal. So this is another self-monitoring tool that'll help us to track our data. Hopefully we'll see 3 dots at 30 or higher in 2 out of 3 days in a row. All right, let's review. What is your goal? Isaiah, get ready. Tell me your goal again. I should begin working immediately and continue working until the task is complete. What tool will you use to achieve your goal? Was it the first tool, cue card reminder, or second tool, self-monitoring checklist? Isaiah, think about your answer. Make your selection. Did you pick one? Hopefully you did.